Congratulations, the World Cup is yours. The packed stadiums, the roaring crowds, the global spotlight fixed on a single tournament every 4 years. You now own the most watched sporting event on Earth. And owning it is nothing like the postcard, because here's what you actually just inherited. You own 0 stadiums, 0 turnstiles, 0 security personnel, not a single parking lot. And despite owning absolutely none of the physical thing people watch, your new asset is about to pull in north of $10 billion. How is that possible? That's what the tour guides never tell you. And it starts with a bidding war so lopsided it barely feels real. A tax arrangement that makes every ticket you sell a tax-free gift from the host city, and a quiet move for 2026, where you can finally run the whole show yourself and keep every last cent. By the time we're done, we'll push this machine to the truly ridiculous extremes you can get away with once you know how it works. So before you can cash a single check, let's look at what you actually inherited. Because your first instinct might be to check the property deed, stadiums, parking garages, light rail extensions, but the asset you just landed is weirder than that. What you own is a tournament brand and the commercial rights to a month-long global carnival, plus a decades-old system engineered to make cities desperate to host you. You don't build a single stand. Instead, you open a bidding war and let them offer you everything. Stadiums, security, transport, even the tax they'd normally collect, all at their expense. The 2026 edition takes this to its logical extreme. 16 North American cities are each signing up to be a mini-host, covering their chunk of the physical cost while you run the whole operation from above. Yet as some of those cities will burn through $100 to $600 million just to get ready for you. Stadium retrofits, police overtime, transit upgrades, they're sweating every line item in a city council chamber while your only job is to collect. Your inheritance isn't bricks and mortar. It's a guarantee that other people will build the entire stage for you on their dime. Now, a naive owner looks at a packed stadium and thinks, ticket revenue. And yes, tickets sell. But that's a drop. Your real windfall comes from the deal you strike before the first ball is kicked. The arrangement where cities pay for the entire infrastructure and you keep every broadcast dollar, every sponsor patch, every hospitality suite, and every ticket scan. On top of that, you extract a tax exemption from the host, so even the sales tax that should go to the city sits in your pocket. Take Houston in 2026. The combined state and local sales tax there is 8.25%. On a $500 ticket, that's about $40 that should go to the city. Over 50,000 seats across multiple matches, you're looking at millions in tax revenue that simply vanishes from the public purse and lands in yours instead. Meanwhile, the city is still paying for the extra police, the transit upgrades, the stadium conversion. They're subsidizing your tax burden while you keep the full ticket price. And in 2026, you're tightening the screw further. In past World Cups, a local organizing committee handled the day-to-day logistics and kept a slice of ticket and hospitality money. You've just killed that middleman. You sign venue agreements directly with each host city and run the tournament yourself. Every broadcast sent, every sponsor logo, every VIP suite fee, it all flows exclusively to you. What used to be partly shared now all pours into one account. The host city gets 0 direct revenue from the event and thanks you for the privilege. The host shells out for the whole production, and you pocket the box office. That's your profit. But that's just the general admission cash register. The really beautiful racket sits one floor up, in the luxury boxes the city built and you never paid a cent for. This is the official hospitality double dip, and it's the purest expression of your own nothing model. The way it works is almost too simple. The stadium operator constructs premium suites, private lounges, and glass-walled viewing decks with catering kitchens. Then you block reserve every one of them at a negotiated base rate. You don't build them, you don't staff them, you don't even put down a deposit. You simply rent the best seats in the house at cost, then turn around and resell that exact same access as an officially branded FIFA hospitality experience. The city handles the food, the security, the staffing. You provide the logo and the right to call it official, and you collect a markup that would make a luxury travel mogul blush. A basic pre-match lounge pass runs roughly $1,000, but the full VIP suite package, complete with champagne service and a former player meet and greet, can sail past $30,000 per person. For a single knockout match, hospitality revenue can easily hit $10 to $15 million, almost all of it margin. You're not a tournament organizer in this moment. You're a branding agency with a global TV audience, operating a luxury travel concierge where the inventory is seats and buildings someone else paid to erect. The host city racks up the construction bill, the stadium operator runs the kitchen, and you pocket the premium on every chilled glass of champagne. That's not just free money. That's your zero-asset profit engine spinning at full speed. Now, let's look at the real shocks, the dynamics that make you blink once you see how deep this goes. First, the bidding auction isn't a polite application. It's a race to hand you the most lopsided contract. driven by political prestige and the dream of global TV exposure. Cities assemble giant pitch books promising new stadiums, airport upgrades, and blank check government guarantees, then sign a host city agreement that ties their hands so tightly you can dictate almost anything. The more bidders there are, the more one-sided the concessions become. For 2026, the United States, Canada, and Mexico tied their proposal together and offered 16 host cities, each a separate mini-host shouldering its own financial load while you get one consolidated check. They're not just paying for the right to host. They're outbidding each other to be the one who pays the most. And here's what the tourists never see. Study after study shows no host city actually makes money on this. Consultant-predicted booms rarely materialize. Regular tourists stay away because of price spikes, and plenty of past hosts are left with white elephant stadiums and dented budgets. Yet before every tournament, the same rosy reports get rolled out and the cities line up again. Your entire business model runs on the fact that they will always outbid each other to hand you a better deal. Second, that tax exemption isn't a minor perk. It's a direct wealth transfer from the host city to you. Because you demand and get a full sales tax waiver, every ticket you sell contributes nothing to the city's coffers. It's essentially the city writing you a check for the tax it would have collected. The Houston math makes it concrete. An 8.25% rate, roughly $40 per ticket gone, millions forfeited over a tournament, while the city is still footing the bill for the extra police and the stadium conversion. The host isn't just building your venue, it's paying your taxes for you. Third, the 2026 pivot. By killing the local organizing committee and running the tournament directly, you've turned every host city into a pure hired venue with zero revenue participation. Every dollar from broadcasters, sponsors, VIP suites, ticket scans, it all lands in your account. This single change more than doubles what previous cycles earned when a share was split. You've just engineered the perfect arrangement. Own nothing, run the show yourself, and send the bill to 16 different cities. And fourth, the host city agreement doesn't just give you free infrastructure, it lets you dictate municipal policy during the event. You determine what advertisements appear near the stadium, enforcing exclusion zones where no unauthorized logo can show up. You can push for temporary street renamings to suit sponsor requirements. Imagine a FIFA Boulevard sign going up over Main Street for a month. And most strikingly, you can compel local police to enforce your commercial rights, essentially deputizing public officers to protect your sponsor's intellectual property. All of this is paid for by the city. For a few weeks, the host city isn't really a city. It's a FIFA-branded commercial zone, policed on the public purse. But none of that clockwork, the bidding, the taxes, the direct control, would keep running without a quieter piece of machinery buried deeper. The question a sensible person would ask is, why do cities keep queuing up if the numbers never work? The answer sits in a global patronage system that locks in your electoral majority before a single bid is read. Every year, under a program that sounds blandly technical, FIFA Forward, you shovel hundreds of millions of dollars in development grants into the bank accounts of the 211 national football associations who cast the votes that award your tournament. In practice, a cluster of small island nations or tiny federations in the Caribbean and the Pacific might receive more direct cash from you than from any other single source. Their entire football existence depends on your continued goodwill. That's not a grassroots development charity, it's a captured electorate. When it's time to vote on a host or to re-elect your leadership, those associations have exactly one rational move: keep the golden goose happy. You've built a permanent electoral college whose survival you pay for with their own football budgets. The host is chosen not by the logic of stadium roofs and hotel capacity, but by a bloc whose interests are welded to yours. And that's the engine that keeps the bidding circus alive, even when the financial reality is a bloodbath. Which brings us to the uncomfortable truth underneath the whole machine. No host city has ever turned a direct profit. Costs balloon, tourists stay away, and the promised boom never arrives. Yet cities keep bidding, hypnotized by the glow. Your entire asset is a psychological spell. The day one city runs the numbers soberly, calculates the net loss, and walks away, the bidding war collapses and your empire deflates. Your job as owner is to keep the dream factory humming, dazzling bid ceremonies, gleaming promises, just enough carrot that no one compares notes too loudly. And by the way, FIFA is technically a non-profit, which makes the whole racket even more brazen. Before you start daydreaming about renaming the trophy, there's a revenue frontier that could outstrip everything we've just walked through, and it's already being paved by the fastest growing piece of the global sports economy: gambling. As North America, Europe, and swaths of Asia keep legalizing sports betting, your audience becomes the most valuable betting asset on the planet. You could sell a single global officially betting partner designation for north of $1 billion per cycle. You could bundle real-time match data, every pass, every corner, and license it directly to bookmakers, essentially minting a second broadcast feed whose value rivals the TV rights themselves. In jurisdictions where it's legal, you could open in-stadium betting lounges, turning the concourse into a live trading floor for for wagers on the next goal or the next yellow card. Other sports are already doing pieces of this. The World Cup would be the biggest prize in the entire industry. And here's the part that fits your zero ownership model perfectly. The money rolls in without you having to build a single stadium, lay a single fiber optic cable, or even run a gambling operation yourself. You just own the data feed and the name, and you collect a toll on every wager. The future of your tournament may be less about turnstiles and more about becoming the planet's largest betting spectacle, a fortnight-long global casino where the house doesn't have to own any of the chips. Alright, since it's yours anyway, let's pull out all the stops. You're already extracting maximum value with zero shame. Here's how you could push it even further. First, charge a non-refundable bidding consideration fee. $50 million just to submit a proposal, no matter who wins. Collect a tidy sum before the tournament is even awarded. Second, sell naming rights to the trophy itself. Officially rename it the Megacorp World Cup Trophy, presented by Megacorp, emblazoned with logos, and require every broadcaster to call it that on air. Third, require each host city to build a FIFA Legacy Palace, a luxury complex for your officials to use during the event, and keep afterwards as a permanent holiday retreat, fully staffed by the city in perpetuity. And fourth, introduce a host city legacy tariff, a 1% surcharge on all hotel stays, restaurant meals, and attraction tickets in the host city for the next 20 years, remitted directly to you as a brand enhancement benefit. Now, go find yourself 16 cities with more ego than spreadsheet skills. They're already lining up. In fact, someone probably slipped a bid book under your door while we were talking.